Hello there, and welcome back to another episode of Check with Tech, your guide to all things tech. I'm your host Yaseen Azzam, and let's get started, shall we? First things first, practically most of us know that next year's Samsung phones are going to be big, but until now we really don't know the extent of it. But now you might have a hint as of to what probably the S11 might have to beat OnePlus, Apple, Huawei, Xiaomi, any of those. Now with One UI 2 beta coming out, there was a Korean Galaxy Note 9 that had a hidden setting that is used to activate 120 Hz screen refresh rate. You heard me right, 120. Of course that won't work on the phone right now because every Samsung phone has 60 Hz and nothing else. But this probably indicates that the S11 might have 120 Hz. Question, why? On the pictures, why is there no 90 Hz option? I mean, if you want the best of both worlds, better battery and still better display than 60 Hz, why don't you just go on to 90? I don't know, there are only two options, 60 and 120. But we shall see, and I really hope that the Samsung S11 does have that feature. Now next up we have Google. You guys know Google Assistant, Android, YouTube, the FTC problem that I don't like to talk about, and Google Duplex, probably their biggest and most surprising feature on Google Assistant. And finally, after months, it's finally out. Google Duplex is officially out, only on the US and in the United Kingdom. Okay, some of you are probably asking, what is Google Duplex? Well, for example, let's say you want to watch something at the movies. So instead of just going to the website or calling them or going to the actual theater itself, you can actually use Google or Google Assistant to do that for you. All you have to do is choose your payment options, select the seats and the times. That's it. Google will take care of everything else. And of course, it's not just on the movies. It's basically like any service that doesn't require a website. Google can do it. So I'm actually surprised that it's out now. I thought that we need a little bit more time, but as usual, there are way too many places on Earth, so it's safe to do it in the US and UK first. So good for them, and I hope it works well. Now let's keep with Google because Stadia is, I don't want to say suffering, but yeah, it's suffering. It's not really doing that good. Of course, it's not available now in my area, but here's a problem. Google Stadia is causing some Chromecast Ultras to overheat. Here's a little background information. Google Stadia is a game streaming service. I think it's free. Yeah, it is free. And all you need to do is plug in a Chromecast to use it on your TV. And so then it works on the internet or on the cloud. So I don't like it when it makes the Chromecast to overheat. Why? And the problem is the Chromecast Ultras don't have any active cooling system or a fan, just it doesn't have anything to make it cool. So of course you find a lot of people on social media talking about how their Chromecast is extremely hot. I mean, what do you expect from such a heavy system like Stadia? Um, yeah, I mean, I hope Google finds a way to at least minimize the temperature changes. I don't know. But yeah, let's hope for the best. Now, next up, we have news about Tesla. Now, Tesla, as of the recording of this episode today, a couple of hours ago, have just announced their brand new Tesla Cybertruck. And before I tell you about my thoughts, I'm going to tell you the specs first. Now, there are 3 variants to this truck. The single motor RWD, dual motor AWD, and tri-motor AWD2. Now, for the single motor RWD, we have 0 to 60 miles per hour in less than 6.5 seconds, range in 250 plus miles, and storage of up to 100 cubic feet. Now, for the dual motor, we have 0 to 60 in less than 4.5 seconds, and the range of 300 plus miles. And for the tri-motor, we have 0 to 60 in less than 2.9 seconds, a range of 500 plus miles, and all 3 of them have the usual Tesla autopilot, air suspension, all of that, and towing capacity is 14,000 plus pounds. That is a lot, but let's not forget that they have the exoskeleton that Tesla calls the ultra hard 30x cold rolled stainless steel. Okay, that's a mouthful, but basically it's one of the best alloys or exoskeleton that you can find, especially in a car. And of course, it has Tesla's armor glass for extra protection. It can withstand a 9mm bullet. That's what Elon Musk says. But the design, that's the surprising part. I mean, I have the picture right in front of me. It's like an how can I describe it? And do you know, like, when you play video games, sometimes the character models load and doesn't load the second you open. Like, it still takes a second for it to get that HD model. Yeah, this is kind of it. It reminds me of those cars that you drew back in first grade, or probably it's very polymorphic. Like, there are a lot of shapes when it comes to this car. I mean, I don't see any curves on the exoskeleton at all. There are lines. To be honest, I really don't like how it looks. It's new. I can definitely say it's new. Probably futuristic. I don't see any door handles. But hey, we shall see. And the highlight of this episode, apart from the Tesla Cybertruck, is the Samsung W20 5G, or as I like to call it personally, the Samsung Galaxy Fold 2. Yes, it is official. Samsung is already making a refinement, at least for the Fold. Now, what do we have? First of all, Samsung made it a bit more durable. It has a thicker and stronger frame, and the edges are a little sharper this time. And the rest of the changes are actually inside. We have Snapdragon 855 Plus, 12 gigabytes of RAM, and 512 gigabytes of UFS 3.0 storage. And this actually has a smaller battery than the regular Fold. It has a 4,235 milliamp hour battery instead of the 4,380 milliamp hour battery on the regular Fold. Of course, it has the same thing. Those are the only two differences. So, my opinion, why? I mean, sure, why not make a sibling to the Fold? But then again, there are really minor differences. To be available in China in December, and hopefully coming soon to the rest of the world. Honestly, I don't see the point in making this Fold right now, because we already have the Galaxy Fold. I mean, it's enough, right? It's enough for an experimentation for Samsung this year, right? To be honest, I'm not sure. We'll see when it comes out in December. So yeah. And this concludes another episode of Check with Tech, your guide to all things tech. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Be sure to leave a review on Apple Podcasts, and don't be afraid to listen to my other episodes. Before I take off, I just want to remind you that at the end of December, we will do that phone awards that I told you about last week. So I think I will remind you guys on Twitter. But yeah, it is coming, and it's coming December 31. The last day of December, this episode will be live, and I'll be waiting for your guys' votes again at Check with Tech 1. Since the first day of December, I will send polls on Twitter asking you guys which phone is best in a certain category. So yeah, I await your response, but technically that won't happen until December 1. So that's it. This is Yaseen Azzam signing out. See you next weekend.